Hey, everybody, welcome to Moment of Clarity. This is the news show, the slash occasionally comedy show that's every single weekday except sometimes. And you can get it always at leecamp.com. Let's get into this. I want to talk about what's going to happen with this election. I've already talked a little about it before, but as it gets closer, the predictions become more obvious. And I want to go through again what it seems very evident is more and more likely. Let's say as this catastrophe nears, as this clusterfuck begins to absorb us, just melt over us, and you can just I think many Americans will just choose to just let it be, just let it just melt into it, and you just dissolve into the fucking shitstorm. Or others will try and fight it, but it can sometimes feel like boxing waves. But so here's the thing: is many of you know where I stand on this election or any of the elections between the two corporate parties. The two corporate parties are really one corporate party, right? But I very much believe in voting because I think there's a lot of things to vote for other than just the presidency, other than just the top shithead. Also, I've always fought for legitimate elections. I've always felt that of what little bit of democracy we have left that has not been completely co-opted, bought out, taken over, and fucking shoved up the ass of the oligarchs, whatever's left, we should hold on to. We should try and continue to have. And so I've often fought for years, been fighting for legitimate elections. Talk more about that in a second. But I want to show you what's already happening in the lead up to this election. You may have seen this part on some of the mainstream media, but I'll get into the redacted angles in a moment. But there's already just crazy catastrophic lines. I don't want to say catastrophic, but crazy lines for voting, which is by design. They want it to be as difficult as possible. Let's see if I can share this video with you real quick. Ignore the tentacle porn tabs that I have open. There we go. So this is a line in Georgia. There's not really any audio to this. But this is already going on in Georgia. This is this is weeks out from the election, and you have people, and I get that they're slightly more spaced out because of the pandemic. Before pre-pandemic times, you could just have everybody, all stacked on top of each other, kind of like a giant orgy. We could just each be quietly inside of each other, and that was lovely. But nowadays, pandemic, they're spaced out a little more. But this is by design, right? This is not an accident. This is not, whoa, look, everybody just really wants to vote. No, they're trying to make it as difficult as possible to vote. They've limited the number of polling places. They've gotten rid of as many the voting machines at the mail, at the USPS, not voting machines, but machines that count the incoming mail at the USPS. And as I've said, that's both parties that have gutted our postal service. So don't let them tell you it's just the Republicans. However, a lot of this is the Republicans. In general, in the general election, sorry to use general twice, but in the general election, it benefits the Democrats to have more people vote, and it benefits Republicans to have as few people vote as possible. So in the general election, the Republicans try and stop people from voting, and the Democrats want people to vote. In the primary election, that's different, right? We've seen immense rigging by the Democrats in their own primary because they needed to stop Bernie Sanders from actually winning the thing, and Obama jumped up out of nowhere and got his chimney sweep Pete Buttigieg to endorse Biden right before Super Tuesday, and several of the other candidates also dropped out. Anyway, that's one of the many ways that Democrats have rigged their own primaries. So this is not me saying only the Republicans rig no, okay? Both sides rig. The Democrats rig their primary. But in the general election, it's simply a fact that in most places, the Democrats just want as many people to vote as possible. So that means in the general election, if the Republicans usually responsible for more of the voter suppression. They've done things like interstate cross-check that has purged millions from the voter rolls. They, like I said, decrease the number of polling places, decrease the polling hours, decrease how long early voting can go, decrease how long you have to register to vote. There's a million ways to cut people off from the rolls. Now, a lot of people want to run with this horse shit that, like, if I talk about how there's voter suppression, that means I'm fucking shilling for Joe Biden. No, I want a legit fucking election, as close as we can get, okay? That's all I'm saying. I don't, like, as I've always said, these are two corporate candidates. There are certain things that some might do better than the other. They're both racist warmongers. They're both accused of sexual assault multiple times. There's so many things that are very similar between these two presidential candidates. And I have not avoided talking about any of that. But that doesn't mean I don't want a legit election. If you see anyone who's like, oh, no, if you talk about voter suppression and what the Republicans are doing, if you even mention it, that means you're pro-Biden, you're liberal. Then they're fucking idiots, okay? This does not make me a cheerleader for Joe Biden because I want a legit goddamn election. So I just want to make that clear. Don't try and do that shit. And by the way, what is a cheerleader? Why do we have cheerleaders? Do you need someone to lead a cheer? Can't people just go woo? You need someone to go 1, 2, 3, woo. Just fucking cheer if you want to cheer. Why do we need leaders? This gets to the presidential election. My hatred of cheerleaders along with my hatred of leaders. Why do we need leaders or cheerleaders? We don't need people to lead our cheers. Why in a high school, middle school where the cheerleaders were like the sought after, like, ooh, she's a cheerleader. Oh, I'm dating a cheerleader, like in high school. It's like, aren't they all like, it's like some sort of Stepford Wives. They're all in the same uniform, fucking creepy, all of their hair dyed the same color. Is that what most men want? Is it like I want the cyborg that I can't tell from the other cyborgs? I'm not trying to offend anybody who was a cheerleader in high school. I'm just saying it's fucking weird. Okay? I don't know why are there cheerleaders and why are people into them? And then there's the whole, like, later in life, do you dress up in the bedroom? Hey, honey, will you dress up as a cheerleader? What? Why? The fuck? And I don't care. This is not an anti-woman thing. I don't care if you're two guys dating and one of them wants the other to dress up like a cheerleader. Plus, there are male cheerleaders, too. George W. Bush was a male cheerleader. I knew a guy in college who was a cheerleader. So they're male cheerleaders. So why dress up as... I've never understood the fucking dress up for the sex. What? Just, are you not good enough? Is the human being not good enough? I don't, like, no, I need you to wear. Plus, it's awkward if the person's in a cheerleader outfit, but they're, you're getting up there in the years. They're like, ow, my knee. That's not a cheer I remember from back in the high school days. Ow, my knee. Which cheer are you trying to lead me in? I don't know. Never understood the dress up thing. But anyway, here is what Trump will want to happen on Election Day. Which it's already clear, okay? Donald Trump, I mean, he's a con man. He's a snake oil salesman. It's ridiculously obvious. You're a fucking idiot if you don't see it. I get that some people are like, I'm really upset with the system, so I like Donald Trump because he fucks shit up. All right, then just say that. Just say, I want a guy who fucks all the shit up. Just say that. Don't run around acting like Donald Trump is somehow genuine or somehow not a snake oil salesman or somehow not a fucking con man. I mean, it's ridiculously obvious and you look like a fool. So if you want to support him because he fucks shit up, then just say that. Wear the t-shirt. Hey, I like that guy who's a con man because he fucks all the shit up. Okay, at least you're being honest. Anyway, what Donald Trump wants to happen, there's three possibilities of what will happen in the election, right? You have a landslide for Biden, landslide for Trump, or close enough that they're somewhat close. If it's a landslide for Trump, then it'll probably be over rather quickly. If it's a landslide for Biden, or even if it's close, either one, even when it's a landslide or it's close, Trump just wants chaos on election day and night and the following days. And they're already showing that, right? They're trying to create chaos because they know that if there's chaos going into election day, then and on election day, then they can just declare that they won or that it's not a legit election or whatever. Any kind of chaos, he wins. In a way, he wins. Now, if that happens, people have to be ready to fucking fight for a legit result. And I would say the same if it were Biden creating chaos, but that's not the Democrats' game plan, right? The Democrats' game plan is as many people vote as possible and try and win, with that, because that's just how the statistics work out. Now, if we lived in a different world where the Republicans wanted all the people to vote and the Democrats did better if they didn't, then you might see the reverse. But in this case, Democrats trying to get people to vote, Republicans not. But of course, the Democrats are caught in this catch-22, and the liberals on the fucking mainstream garbage airwaves, they're caught in this catch-22 because all through the primaries and everything, we have a completely unaccountable, illegitimate, fucking garbage electoral system. And then when we get to the general, they want to tell us it's all legit so that you don't get too angry at it. Because we have like the fucking worst, these touchscreen garbage machines. I mean, nowhere else in the world do they do it like this. Nowhere else, no other country will they allow you to just fucking put your fucking finger on a goddamn glorified speaking spell and go, I voted for who knows what the fuck, and you walk out. It's insane. It's nuts. It is. There's nowhere else, no other country, or will they allow it? Are they okay with it? There's large studies that have shown that we have the worst electoral system in the Western world, and then we point to other countries and go, your election wasn't legitimate. Oh, really? Who the fuck are you to talk? But so the Democrats want you to believe in the system, and so they don't highlight these things. They don't talk that much about how fucked our machines are, how they block the audits, all that shit, because they want you to just have faith in the system. But then they try and claim Russia hacked your election, biggity blue, even though almost all of the voting systems in our country are not hooked to the internet. There are a few that should not be hooked to the internet that are, but in general, almost none of them are hooked to the internet. The way to hack our elections, if you were really going to do it, is in person. CBS did the one story. They're not covering it much. They did one little story where they showed how easy it is to hack a voting machine in person. If you have the right technology with you, you could walk in and do it in a couple of minutes. But in terms of these scary outside forces, Russia's going to get to the election. China's going to do it. That's horseshit. Utter garbage. So, all right. So Trump is sowing this chaos, and he wants it to be chaos the night of. And they're not preparing people to realize that the counting of this election, if it's done even remotely legitimately, should take a few days minimum. But they've set up this system in America where we all believe that at fucking midnight on the election day, they announce our winner. And they could announce it if it's somewhat of a landslide, but it's quite possible it's close. And at that point, Trump will declare he won no matter what. You know that. You know that's who he is. You know that's what he'll do. And if he didn't win, and it's not because I'm for Biden, for corporate America, for any of that, it's because I'm for a legitimate result, some little fraction of a remaining goddamn inkling of a democracy. If that happens, that Trump claims victory when they're not done counting, then it really is going to come down to the people. It's going to come down to what the people believe and what the people do, and whether they fight back and demand a legit election, or whether they go, oh man, that just sucks. I guess the thing happened with the thing. So it's going to be up to you. It's going to be up to us, whatever happens. I mean, you have to wait and see. But people should be ready. and they should be ready to stand up and defend it. Should be ready to fight back. But the media is not setting people up for that because they want everyone to believe that there's never any trouble in the American election. It all goes smooth. There's no problem here. That's what they want to tell you. All right, guys, I hope that you found this useful, and I hope you'll come back often. Remember, you are not going to be shown my videos. You probably have to go look them up at leecamp.com. I put these out every single weekday, except sometimes. And you can also check out my free podcasts. One is called Common Censored. The other is called Government Secrets. Definitely look those up. Seriously, give Government Secrets a try. See if you like what you hear. Me and Graham Elwood, it's every week. And I think that, I think you'd be a fan if you just check it out, Government Secrets. And also my book is at leecampbook.com. You can get 20% off by using the coupon code, the initials of the title, BPAPL. And my comedy special is free at leecampamerican.com. All right, please share this. Please click subscribe and keep fighting.